Dude, are you in your new house? I mean, your new home,
My new home?
old home.
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Not until the master of this house comes back.
I see. When is Master
But
returning?
in a week, or less than a week.
I see.
At the end of this week.
Far out, man. I still remember when David left. That felt like yesterday, man.
Yeah, dude, that's been 5 weeks.
Sheesh. Okay. It's been a while since we did our last pod. Maybe like 2, 3 weeks.
Hmm,
So, how are you?
dude, life has been very good, and I'm very tired. My, let's just say, like, a lot of things have happened. Some of my habits have fallen off very much, but it's like, I'm okay with that for what it as a short period of time for what it let me do and like the experiences it let me have and just like the kind of yeah, it was a balance of working hard and letting go at the same time, and that
Mm.
was nice for a change.
What did you have to let
But
go?
or just some like normally my routines are very rigid, and the things I eat and the things I do, like my fucking morning routine's timed to the minute. Oh, it's more like timed to the second.
Sheesh.
Like everything has a set amount of okay, this task takes 1 minute 30, this task takes 3 minutes, so this task takes
Ooh.
it's like everything's like goes like that. And I just run the routine on the app on the phone,
Mm.
routinery.
Mm. Mm.
And obviously I don't hit it all the time, but it's like normally, especially when I'm alone at home or just going through stuff, it's just I just bash through it
Yeah.
as best as I can. Some days it's a bit off. But yeah, it's like just letting some of this stuff go where it's like, if I miss a day of gratitude journaling in the morning, but because it's so cemented nowadays as a habit, because I've done so well generally with my habits over time now, it's like I'm not afraid of, oh, I missed 1 or 2 days, like, oh shit, I've lost the habit. So, no, it's really easy to come back now.
Mm.
And just letting, like, not gripping so tightly, but still keeping my hand on the reins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's never really happened before because I couldn't afford to let that happen. Because before, as soon as I let go a bit, it just slips away because I was in such like a deficit state.
Mm.
Not deficit, like deprivation state.
Mm.
And yeah, like this felt like I can loosen the grip in multiple ways, multiple times, just in little things and big things.
Yeah.
What's he laughing about?
Uh, I'm having some intrusive thoughts. You keep using that word, bro.
I'm
All
gonna
right, keep going,
loosen the
keep
grip.
going, keep going. Let's move past this one.
And then oh shit. Nah, but yeah, it's just kind of like letting life happen in a way and going with the
Mm.
flow of things, but being aware that it's kind of like capped. Because I know at some point I'm gonna desire that the routine and the structure again. And I
Mm.
think in my recent news that yesterday, I did mention that thing about entropy, which we can talk about in a second.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like letting higher entropy happen in my life because there's so many novel experiences for me, and just I'm keeping it very vague right now because there's like multiple things we can talk about if we want to.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's been good, but like I'm feeling done with this high level of entropy. Like I want to reintroduce more like structure and clarity back
Mm.
while keeping like some blocks of entropy, high entropy.
Man, that high entropy period of yours seemed like it flew by. It was what,
Yeah, dude.
3, 4 months?
It's been almost 4 months.
Fuck, that's insane, man. Yeah, like it still feels like a month ago since you moved out,
Mm-hmm.
and now
Mm-hmm.
you're moving back in.
Dude, like to even to me, it both felt like everything happened and nothing happened.
The
Like,
classic.
yeah, it's like it both felt like a long, long time where this was a whole like mini life, but it also felt like it's just a blink of an eye.
Hmm.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, but
Yep.
I do sense a lot of shifts.
Is it coming from the job opportunities and the need to lock in? Is that the main reason?
And the relationship front. Oh, a couple of different things. Like financially, I literally am like I'm feeling the pressure of like holy fuck, I'm broke as shit.
Mm.
Like I can't keep living like this and just like just slowly my money just like disappearing. It's not going in big chunks. It's just like slowly being sapped away again. It's like I'm in negative cash flow.
I'm all too familiar with
Right, and
that, my
it's
man.
yeah, it's not like a dire situation. I'm in a privileged enough situation where it's not, life or death. But it might as well be. Like I might as well treat it like that because yeah, I'm kind of just like floundering. But so that's one aspect like one me very obviously feeling the desire to lock in. But then the job opportunities coming up, it's like, "Oh shit, that's like I can make this work." But then the other realization is like, oh shit, to make it work, it's going to take a lot of work.
Mm.
It's like the double whammy. It's like, oh wait, so there are people who want my services and my work. This isn't a complete waste of time. But then to actually capture that opportunity, I better put in like fucking everything.
Mm.
And then on the relationship front, it's like, it's kind of like I don't have to go. This is really interesting. I don't know if this is like a good way to put it or not, but it's like the hunt is over, right? There is.
What the G's?
It's it's like a nice. Yeah, I've retired. I'm no longer the huntsman,
Mm.
and
You gotta develop the
it's
next
nice
generation.
because hey, okay, moving on. It's nice because there's like I don't really need to think about and do all of those like oh, how would I say it? It's like the outward eye is no longer really like that important. Sometimes I'll just be like dressing up and like you know trying to be impressive, and then suddenly I remind myself like, wait, what the hell? Like there's a couple of people really important to me, and this one girl that I want to quote unquote impress or like present my best self to. Who gives a shit about what these other guys think? Like just be yourself.
Hmm.
And there's that freedom because I've thankfully found a really good relationship where they like me most when I'm being myself. So that's already sorted. And then now it's like I don't have to worry about impressing any other strangers. Like I don't give a fuck. So there's that. I still want to present my best self, but there's no longer that extra dimension of like, oh, what if my potential partner's out there today? I gotta be on my A game, or there's just things I have to think about before that. Now it's just like, oh, well, she's right here.
Mm.
And I just, yeah, like, how do I say it? It's like some of that mental resource is now freed up because I don't have to be keeping my eye out. Honestly, like sometimes when I'm outside, I almost, or when I'm just doing my own work, I almost forget that, oh shit, I've already got a partner. Like I'm still automatically returning to like I forget the fact that I've got someone who I really, really like and respect, beautiful in my life already. It's just like I'm simply not used to that.
It's
And then I
surreal.
get a text from them, and then I'm like, "Oh shit, yo, what the?" Yeah,
Mm. Still,
but
yeah,
yeah,
it still hasn't hit you yet.
yeah. It's like at times it does feel surreal. Where I'm like, "Holy fuck, this is like too good to be true." Of this person especially.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, so it's like a lot of this stuff where some of my mental bandwidth is returned to me, where there's no longer that like juggling like the dating and first impressions or like the whole being attractive thing. It's like yes,
Yeah.
I'm still going to uphold a high standard, but it's not to attract them, but to build a loving relationship. It's like an inward thing rather than an
Hmm.
outward thing.
Yeah. And imagine it's mostly for yourself now instead
Oh,
of,
for my or like it's mostly for her and us and me. Like for us. It's like a very clear kind of yeah, it's like everything's like hunkered down. Like I think the next chapter is like hunkering down.
mm,
Um like I've got my tribe, I've got my girl, I've got my family, and then the only thing that requires me to be outward is my work. And that's it.
yep,
Everything
that's
else
it.
is like I don't need to be, searching outwards anymore. Like I've got everything and I just need to like fucking get to it. Like it kind of feels like everything else is like taken care of. It's done. I just need to be healthy, show up as like a good person in my relationships, and then just do the work. Like that's it. There's no I'm not really missing anything else in my life right now.
Yep. It's like
Um
last year you worked on all these miscellaneous things, um, like your relationship, your tribe, family, physical health, and wrapping up some loose ends like your job. And then now you've got this one singular focus for this year. Like you're maintaining all the other stuff, but this is your new primary pursuit.
yes. Yes. It's like everything else is up to a I can just do minimum effective volume.
Yeah,
I,
that's
I
awesome,
don't
man.
really know. It it's because the relationship is like in the way that will best benefit both of us. But it's like again, it's because it's so singular. It's like it's this is my circle. This is my inner circle. Like I don't have to be foraging outside and this sorting through the uncertainty in that way. Like there's no longer a chase,
Hmm.
but like it feels like we are building together rather than I'm just going out there and fucking fumbling in the dark.
Fumbling the bag.
Thankfully, I did not fumble the bag.
Good job. You passed the assignment.
But yeah, that's my long ass answer for my current stage.
It's exciting, man. Yeah, yesterday when I was reading your newsletter, I was shocked because I did not expect that you'd be moving back to your old home. And yeah, like I mentioned in the text, I initially was like, fuck, man, I wish I could do that as well. I wish I could explore that creative side and potentially make a living from it. But I also recognize that I have not put in the work required. And you've got all of these skills that have lined up perfectly for this opportunity. So yeah, it's I had to reframe it a little bit, and then now it's just pure excitement, man.
Hmm.
It's gonna
Well, thank you for
be
your text.
yeah. I feel like when I was away. we didn't really talk that much. Um, and yeah, I think part of that was I was so focused on enjoying my trip with my family, and that was
Mm.
a huge, huge blessing. Like I I went into that trip for context. I went to New Zealand and I came back about a week ago. And before the trip, I was kind of bummed out that I would have to uproot my routine for the next 9 to 10 days. And I was so focused on just trying to be productive and getting lost in the pursuit of more that I forgot about what the other stuff that I really care about. And that's family time, living in the moment, nature, exploring. So yeah, being sort of forced to go because I'd already booked the flights. Um, it took like a few days, and once I got into the routine of not having a routine, I started really enjoying it.
Mm.
And yeah, like even when I came back, part of that, part of that craving to just live life more spontaneously and enjoy the simple things, enjoy what I have now with my family, my friends, and the world around me that I can explore. That's stuck with me since the trip.
Mm.
So yeah, that's just a mini update from my part. Right now, I feel I'm in a sort of weird space right before I start work on Thursday, and yeah, I don't really feel ready, but it is what it is. Like once it comes, I will I will put my head down and hit the ground running. It's going to be a lot of growth coming up. That'll sort of be the primary pursuit for the next few months, I reckon. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think we're both sort of at the edge, like right before we dive. We don't really know exactly what to expect,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the exciting part about it. Yeah. Also, dude, is
What's
your no,
eh?
you go.
What's the because you said you got into the routine of not being in a routine, and then you kind of brought back some of that energy.
Yep.
Do you feel like that's a positive experience? Like, would you want to keep that?
Yeah, for sure. I think before I was way too extreme with trying to optimize my time,
Um,
and that affected my relationships a little bit, and it also dulled my life experiences.
yeah.
Like I need to learn to let go, to just enjoy the moments when I'm not working, right? And before I left, whenever I wasn't working, I was always thinking about the opportunity cost. Am I using my time uh most wisely? Hanging out with this person or doing this activity? Could I be improving myself more if I did something else? But now, um, yeah, I don't know. I just feel so much more relaxed now. And I noticed yesterday when I hung out with you guys, I was a lot happier than I was before I left. And
Mm.
maybe that's part of it. Yeah. Caleb mentioned to me when it was just us two at the end, he said that my aura felt a bit different. He said that um yeah, I either had this more energetic or happy vibe. Like I didn't really hang out with you that much yesterday. I didn't get a chance to really catch up properly, but yeah, that was something really interesting I noticed, and I'll try to carry that forwards.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't get to speak with you as much yesterday. I guess.
Dude, for some reason, I feel like this podcast is kind of clapped.
Why?
Like we both sound so dead.
I was gonna ask before, like, are you really tired? You sound really tired.
I just came back from the gym. I bumped into Leo actually, and yeah,
Oh, I could tell. You
oh
said
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I just smashed through the workout, so I minimized my rest, and it's 40 degrees as well. I'm trying not to use my aircon, so I think that contributes
Try not to use your aircon. Why?
to save energy. Like unless there's beads of sweat building up on my forehead, which is happening right now, then I usually don't turn it on. It's like what you would do at your
Is that like
house.
a financial decision or is that like an environmental?
Well, it's not a financial decision because we're not, yeah, thankfully, I'm very lucky to be able to say that we don't need to be extremely frugal with this stuff. It's just maybe that's just how I was brought up. Like if I don't need it, then I usually won't turn it on. And same
This
goes
is
with
a
the heater.
region beta paradox, bro.
Well, what is
Like,
that?
it's that thing where it's like, it's just not that, it's not bad enough. But if it was actually a bit worse, your quality of life would increase drastically because you would have made a change.
Okay, okay.
So say if it was 2 degrees hotter than it is right now, then you would turn the aircon on and then it would go 10 degrees lower than what it
Uh,
is.
yeah.
Like if you had to walk 1 mile, you would, but it would be kind of tiring. But if you had to go 2 miles, you'll probably take the car or the tram, and it'll actually be faster than if you walked 1 mile.
Hmm. Interesting.
So
What is it called?
region beta paradox. That's what
Region
Chris
beta
Williamson calls it.
paradox.
But it's just literally like, is a pain of staying the same greater than the pain of change or whatever. Pretty
Uh,
much that.
yeah. It's like
But
our
it's just
frustration, the frustration curve or whatever you
yeah,
call it.
essentially. But it's like, is the job? It's like, oh, if I just have an okay job, it's like, oh, it's pretty good. It's not that bad. Then you don't change.
Yeah.
But if the
Yes.
job was 10% shitter, then you might be like, okay, fuck this dude. And then you actually make a change, and then your life becomes 100 times better.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, right now it sounds like if it's not like a, because I know you don't. Okay, maybe you care about the environment more than I do, but you probably don't
That's a good
for
point. That's a
this
good
thing.
point.
Probably not for this small thing.
Right, yeah.
So then it's like,
Uh, yeah, that's true. I'm also, or a couple more things. I'm I'm built for the heat, so I don't really mind.
yeah, yeah, that's true
Um,
though.
and also I feel like the little things add up. So this, along with trying not to waste food, um, trying to make sure I throw out the trash into the correct bin, all that stuff, I feel like it does add up. Even though I'm not
Mm,
consciously thinking about it, right?
that's true.
I digress.
Okay, but what else do we want to talk about?
You mentioned
Yeah, the
your entropy.
entropy. Yeah, true.
Let's talk a bit about that.
I guess we've kind of touched on the fact that like we've both been letting ourselves have a bit more high entropy days. And entropy in this sense is just like disorder, chaos, or uncertainty. So if I say I have a high entropy day, it just means that there's a lot of uncertainty or deviations from a set plan.
Hmm.
So like instead of, following my routine to the minute, a higher entropy day would be like, okay, I might have a plan set up, but then after I do this thing, it's kind of whatever. I just let life happen. Whatever comes up or whatever we feel like, or if someone asks me to do something, I can just go do it. I'm open to explore. I'm more spontaneous. Low entropy days or low entropy time blocks is like when you have a lot of certainty and there's very low tolerance for deviation from the plan. So this should probably be, for example, deep work blocks where it's like 3 or 4 hours where you just show up the same time every day and you don't fucking do anything else. And you don't schedule anything else and you don't allow anyone to like interrupt in that time or as much as you can. So I think that idea is like actually super simple, right? It's just basically a fancy way of saying like, is this a very strict time block or is this just like some time where you can do whatever you want?
Hmm.
And I think like I would bounce between the extremes
Oh,
in all ways in my life for this entropy thing. So I would either stick to a super fucking rigid diet for like 3 months for the weight loss goal and just like cut everything, you know, um, eat everything meal prepped, everything's tracked. And then I would suddenly bounce to like full binge, like completely cooked eating, like just whatever I want.
right.
Um, all my routines as well, it's just like everything's so regimented and then suddenly to completely nothing. Like I would always bounce between the full extremes of max entropy and then zero entropy. And I think that was actually really helpful over time. Like that was great, but like it's not the most sustainable nor the most beneficial. It was great for me to learn those extremes and I already had the tendency to bounce between the extremes. So like it was a great like establishing lesson. But now it's like bouncing between the extremes is not the best way to go about this.
Hmm.
So I kind of hate the word balance, but I want to balance my time and my energy either during the days or during the weeks with like higher entropy and lower entropy blocks. So I
Mhm.
can maintain momentum, but then I get to explore and I get to be spontaneous and I get to, you know, kind of live it up.
Yep. Why do you hate
Uh,
the word balance?
because balance is often used by normal people to criticize those who are obsessed with something.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you should be a bit more balanced. You shouldn't do this or that in the extremes. But it's like they can't see the benefit of the extremes. And yes, there is benefits of balance, but we over-index towards the benefit of balance. And a lot of the general populace, I think, don't quite see or they just don't understand why someone would go to the absolute extremes. And I
Right.
see the necessity for both. So I
Hmm.
think balance is it's just like toxic masculinity. It's like technically it's not wrong. It's just that it's overused and we over index on that side of the equation that it's no longer like so meaningful.
Hmm. Do you think that everyone needs to experience the extremes?
No. I think should they? Probably. Do they need to? Probably not. Do they want to? Probably not. So do they have to? Probably not. Like they can do whatever the fuck they want, but it's like for me because I and probably for you because we have the tendency to go to the extremes anyways. Like we might as well fucking find out and then see if we can find somewhere in the middle where not necessarily in the middle, but like where it allows our natural inclinations, our natural like extremes to come through, but also hold it in a way that it doesn't damage us too much or it doesn't cause us to flounder too much.
Yeah. Because I do think that me and you, if there was a spectrum, we're probably 70, 80% on the more extreme side. You'll probably be more extreme than I am. I know if I like I it's good for me to taste what the extreme is like on either end, but my optimal point is probably around, let's say 70%.
Mm, yep. I think honestly, 70 is probably the optimal point for most, like, for people like us.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
like on the 95 plus is like David Goggins and Alex Hormozy.
yeah.
And it's like for the rare individuals like that, maybe that does work. But I
Yeah,
think it's not that it wouldn't work for other people. It's just that it's really hard to make that work for as anyone else but them.
yeah, for sure. In terms of um low and high entropy, my entire past year was probably spent around the higher end. Like I don't,
Really?
when I was tracking my time with Toggle,
Yeah.
like I do work, but hold on, let me just turn off my notifications because I'm getting distracted. Um,
Naughty boy.
Naughty. I would,
Probably, we probably
what? Hello? Fuck. You are cutting out. Hello? Hello?
can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm here.
my connection is unstable, so let me go hotspot. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What was I saying? High entropy. Oh, toggle. Yeah, like I would track my time, but I would never follow a rigid structure. If I ever set the number of times that I have tried to plan out my day, plan out my life, open up my journal and write down the exact time when I should be doing things and exactly how many minutes to allocate to each task. I don't even think I've ever followed it to the T a single day.
Okay. Just to quickly butt in, I think I'm the exact same. If you put it like that.
Right.
Go on.
Um, okay, but I still wouldn't consider myself someone who can stick to a fucking plan. Like I don't really have low entropy days at all. Maybe once every month. The rest, I have a vague idea of what I want or need to do, and then I probably hit about 60 to 70% of it. Like that's me. And so far it's been working for the most part.
Okay. I think I agree with your assessment. And like I'm probably the same where it's like I have for sure not been able to stick to my actual plans like to the T. Like that's been something that, we've talked about a lot and that's something I still need to work on. But what I meant as in I don't think I've had a lot of low entropy days, but I think there was a constant striving to be low entropy the whole day.
Right.
But then I would always fail. And some blocks would be low entropy, when I'm actually in deep work, I am actually doing deep work, for
Yeah.
example. But it's like, I would always try to follow a schedule on the, like, everything blocked down on my calendar, all that shit. Whether it happens or not, that's questionable. But I think this whole thing is more like blocking your day more sparingly, or not sparingly, like generously, where you go like, first 3 hours of the day, deep work block. It's just like a block thing. And
Mm.
then on the calendar, I just, 3 hours deep work. And then maybe it's like breakfast. And then 1 hour run. And then 3 hours deep work. And then afterwards, just like a huge fucking empty thing, or just a block saying high entropy. Like do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm.
think honestly, that's just how normal people live their fucking lives, right? It's like after the 9 to 5, you just clock off.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
that's
for me, it's kind of like,
Hey,
yo,
that's
dude.
pretty interesting, man. To like intentionally organize high entropy time.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like that's what I want to
Oh,
do,
okay. Yeah.
where it's like you shift everything in your life that can be more distraction prone or what's that word I used before? Like where you have a higher tolerance for being distracted from that task or a higher tolerance from deviating from that specific task. Everything that can fit into that category, move it into the high entropy block.
Mm.
And then just keep a very limited, and maybe literally 4 or 5 hours total per day max of like low entropy blocks.
Mm.
Like literally even like 3 hours. Just do 1.5 hours twice of low entropy as a start for a dumbass like me, because I always get distracted. Like make that my deep work blocks, and then everything else can be just like high entropy. So I don't have to feel guilty about like getting fucking distracted everywhere.
Mm.
But like let me get my main stuff done first so then I can show up fully for everything else.
Mm.
Also, we're 1 minute left.
Yeah. All right, let's restart.
Yep. Okay. Oh, okay. So we're back.
Yeah. So what would you
Ooh,
consider high entropy stuff? Or no, to reword it, what tasks are better organized within a high entropy block?
like cooking meal prep or eating dinner or taking some photos. Like anything where, mm, oh, honestly, literally anything involving anyone else is already moderate entropy at least.
Yeah.
Because unless you're in like a 9 to 5 job where everyone's kind of like strapped in, or unless you are, business meeting or something where it's like specifically organized, everything involving anyone else, you've added like an extra component, an extra dependency. Like
Mm-hmm.
my deep work block, if I'm just scripting and recording a video, or just editing, or just, writing the newsletter, that can be in the lowest entropy block because it depends on nothing but me just sitting down. Like if I just like get myself there, there is no other controllable that needs to be controlled.
Mm.
Or and there's also very little uncontrollables. Like
Yeah.
if I am alive and I am not in like a war zone and I have access to a computer, like I can do the work.
Mm.
Um, Whereas everything else is kind of like if it depends on a couple of different things, or if it involves other people, stuff like this where it's, and I think I'm also meaning as things where I don't mind if other people or other things chime in.
Mm.
So, for example, now doing meal prep, sometimes I do it with my partner. And that's like, you know, efficiency is it the highest? Not necessarily. Is it the lowest? Also, not necessarily. It's like we still get the job
Mm.
done, but it's like, is it going to take longer? Probably yes. Am I going to eat a bunch of like random shit in the middle? Probably yes. But
Ah,
it's like, that
classic.
was fun.
Yeah.
And we still got the task done. And it's like, well, why wouldn't I allow that? But if that happened in my fucking supposed low entropy block, then I'd be like, what the hell did I just do?
Mm.
But if that was planned in the high entropy block, it's like planned high entropy.
Mm.
It's like I specifically have blocked this time out. I've given an extra generous amount of time because I don't know how long this is actually going to take. But this is the part of the day where it's like, um, maybe I still got a few tasks, but it's like how I complete it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, so it's in my head, it's more like that, and I could show up to those with a lot more of a guilt-free, full presence attitude if I executed my low entropy blocks very well.
Mm.
Like I noticed, dude, it's especially obvious with the partner right now, where it's like on some of the days when I went to see them, it was after I bashed out a bunch of work, I hit the gym, I did everything,
Dude.
and then I went to see them, and it
Yep.
was just like all I was like 110% present.
Best feeling, man. There's
Dude,
no
that
better
felt
feeling than
fucking incredible. And they
that.
obviously loved it too, because it's like, oh shit, Jack's really here with me.
Yeah.
And I want to bring that as much as I can because it's the best for both of us and for my goals. Because I'd have focused properly and fucking actually did the work. And then I can go focus fully on the person I want to be focusing on anyways.
Yep.
It's like, dude, this is like some simple ass shit. This is basically just work hard, play hard. But
Mm.
I had to go all the way around with all this shit just to come back at the same conclusion.
Yeah, and what I notice is if I have booked in some hangout with someone later on in the day, I know I must lock in now in the morning.
Yes.
Like it forces me to lock in. So by intentionally scheduling that high entropy time, you're increasing the chance that you're going to stick to that low entropy structure.
Yes, dude. That's it.
Hey man,
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
like
sick.
now my low entropy actually is scarce. And it's like
Mm,
I only have this amount of time. I can't go, oh yeah, I can just do a little bit more work later.
mm,
I can, but that's in the high entropy block. And I know that that can get drawn away.
yep,
So it's like I better fucking tackle the low entropy blocks with like full intensity. Get that shit done. And then later it's like a reward and also a deadline at the same time.
yep. That's cool. I need to
It's
start
good.
doing that.
Dude, and honestly, I want to say this thing where it's like, I don't know if this is a girl's thing. Okay, about to get cancelled. No, this is like, no, this is really like quite a nice thing where my my girlfriend and her best friends, also they've got a really great friend group, which is awesome to see. But it's like they seem to really know how to fucking hustle and grind, like get on it, but then also enjoy life at the same time. Like I feel like we struggle with
Oh
that.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
I'm like, wait, so you're telling me you grind so hard at your work, you're doing your portfolio, you're organizing all this shit, you have to deal with so many things that I have no idea about, and yet you cook actual nice, like homemade meals and invite all your friends over like once a week.
Fuck.
Like, wait,
That's
why
sick,
can't I
man.
just do that, dude? It takes like 2 hours. So today, that's where I was right before this. Like, I was just at their apartment, and then they just had their friends there, and then they're just cooking a meal together, and they just eat, and then they chat, and then they're off.
That's sick.
Like, what? How did I not think about this, right?
Dude.
And yeah, like it's so simple. They just go to Woolies, they just grab some stuff. It's
What?
way cheaper than eating outside,
Yeah.
and
Wait,
then they
so
just
they get together just to cook a meal and eat the meal and then they're done.
yeah, they just
What?
talk and eat the meal together.
Dude, that's incredible,
Like,
man.
like now they live in the same building, but even when they didn't before, they would do that all the time, like once or more every single week.
Whoa.
Me and Tom discovers like people eat meals together.
Bro, it's like I'm discovering fire, man.
Yeah, dude, I was fucking mind blown. He's like, wait, you're telling me
Hold
I
up.
can just, yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
crazy, and they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, well that's a really good reminder then. Like it's
Yeah, and
doable.
like they have good food together. They're cooking like super nice shit and it's like healthy as well, or fairly healthy.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
it'd
what
be
I
like,
noticed. No, you go
okay.
first. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say it'd just be like, kimchi stew or oh fuck, that's not the right name. It's like soba noodles with salmon and it's like yeah, it's
Right,
just
right. Sounds
like
delicious.
proper dishes and food, like Asian meals and everything, like couple of different ingredients. It obviously takes a bit more effort than our fucking like minced meat and potatoes, but it's like for the site, maybe 20% extra effort, you'd get like 300% extra enjoyment
Yes.
with your friends. Like, what the fuck? Hey?
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's go on.
yeah, that's what I've noticed in at least the girls that I've been friends with and that I've observed is they they really know how to enjoy life, man.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like what you just mentioned, even just cooking nicer food. I think for a long time, myself and usually the boys, like we sort of look down on people either spending a little bit more money or spending more time and energy just to enjoy something,
Yeah.
which is so stupid. Like that's yeah, I feel like we're missing out on a huge chunk of life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think only in the recent years, maybe the past year and a half, have I started opening my mind to that and really welcomed and accepted it. So
So,
hearing that is really cool.
dude,
Um,
literally, like, I think for me, it was the past like 7 to 8 months. Because before, it's just like, I would look at people spending extra money or on experiences or on like food and stuff. Like, you fucking idiot! Like, what's the point of that? It's just the beers, you dumbass. Um, but it's like, wait, but they're having fun. And if I just do that in a way that doesn't ruin or go against all my goals to like a unnecessary degree, then there is no like the cost is not nearly as high as I once perceived it.
Hmm.
And I think, but I do think this, the reason we can have these current realization and this like turn towards a bit of, like we said before, like balance is kind of because we're on pretty positive trajectories already now with our lives. We can afford to be like this a bit more. And that doesn't, not everything comes crashing down.
Hmm.
It's, yeah, it's like, how do I say it? Um, I've been feeling that a lot now where even when I was planning out my physique and training structure for this year, I realized like for the first time in years, I can actually afford to do a lean bulk or a bulk of any kind.
Right.
Because before, because I was in such a shit state, I was already too fat to afford to bulk. If I bulked anymore, I'd be even more overweight with even more health problems.
Yep.
So now that I've been in a much better physical state after, you know, the last kind of 2 years of trying to fix myself and the last few months of losing a lot of weight, then I can afford to enjoy a bit more. I can afford to even go on the bulk a bit and build some muscle
Hmm.
because I've set myself up to I'm no longer in a deficit state and not
Yeah.
like a calorie deficit, but as in like a physically deprived or physically damaged state. I no longer need to cut or like minimize all damage.
Hmm. That's so
It's
true,
like
man.
Hamza says that like being fat is kind of like being in debt, where when you are fat, everything like you have to always have that anxiety about how many calories you're intaking.
Hmm.
But then a financially oh fuck, this is so hard to explain. It's like being in debt where it's like um every single dollar you spend, you're kind of like, oh shit, is that like setting me back too much? I
Mhm.
can't afford to eat something that's $3 more because that's going to put me $3 further in debt.
Mhm.
But then if you're just fairly financially stable, you just go, oh, okay, that thing costs a little more. Like that's okay. I just save a bit more for next week or whatever.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
when you're operating from like a deficit state, it's everything's higher anxiety because it's a higher cost because you're already in a shit position.
that's how I feel about my social skills or approaching. So, yesterday, holy shit, that was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, um, I only did like two or three approaches, and they
Mm,
were like really positive. But I felt super satisfied with even before I did that interview approach because I feel like I've built up a decent foundation, at least in this small area of social skills. And so I could go into a 45-minute conversation with some stranger without thinking about, oh shit, like I could be doing so many more reps instead of this.
uh
And yeah, so I think that's quite similar to uh, feeling like I'm no longer in a deficit in that area.
Yeah, it gives you so much more like tolerance for everything.
Mm,
So you're not so worried. And I think that kind of translates in so many areas of our lives. We're not doing that great. We're doing pretty good, but we're not like fucking excelling in everything. We're getting there, but at least we are better than before, and we are somewhat like we're afloat now.
mm,
And I think that lets us fuck. Where were we even going with this? But it's like it lets us enjoy things a lot more.
yeah.
And we can afford to spend a little more money, or we can afford to spend a little more time on certain things, and we're not so scared that they'll throw us off completely because we kind of realize now, even when like this week I did binge once, which was like that was like really shit. That was a full uncontrollable binge.
Mm,
But the usual guilt that would follow was very short. Like this was probably the shortest amount of guilt for uh to the ratio of how much I binged.
mm.
Like the the binge to frustration ratio was like the most favorable for this one. Okay.
Only Jack would come up with this bullshit,
No, no,
man.
the calories intaked above
Yeah.
necessary means for survival to the frustration felt afterwards. Like,
Oh my
yeah, that ratio was a lot better. Right? It's never been like this. I barely felt frustration. Like I did feel frustrated, but it was very capped for how bad it was.
Yeah.
And I realized it was like I now know, like all this work I've put in, there's no fucking way I lose all of the progress with 1 or 2 weeks of just not being on point.
Right.
Like there's a stability in my mind. I can still get alarmed, I can still get frustrated, but it's like there is no longer that irrational fear of like, holy fuck, everything's crumbling down from this one night. Like you fucked yourself, dude.
Yeah.
But in the past, like that amount of frustration and rage and like pain is what drove me to come back to the things that give me comfort, which are binging. And that's
Mm.
where that cycle continued.
Right.
So, like, I got into the habit of binging, and then I would use binging to soothe the frustration from binging.
It's a dangerous cycle, man.
Dude, it
I'm
was
glad,
death.
yeah, I'm glad you escaped that. Um, what's that area in the black hole? Uh,
Event horizon,
Event Horizon. Yeah. There's another
singularity.
one. There's another one, but Event Horizon's good enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm still not fully out of the woods. Like today, after I came back, I still ate like literally half the jar of peanut butter
Half the jar.
that I just bought.
That's incredible, man. I I couldn't even eat a quarter if I forced myself to.
Nah, like, it was easy. Okay,
Everything's easy for Jack.
whoa, it's not like the big jars. It's like the standard. Okay, but it's still
That's
a lot.
yeah. Yeah. How
But
many
yeah,
calories in
so like
half a
everything,
jar?
I was going so
Holy.
well for the whole of today, and then I'm just like, nom 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 nom. But yeah, it's like I felt bad, but not that
Yeah.
bad. And then
Yeah.
it's just like, whoa, just get back on track.
Yeah. Dude, that's
And that,
actually yeah.
yeah, I think you're gonna say what I'm gonna say, so go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that I'm really happy to see you be able to react that way. You literally just laughed at yourself binging half a jar of peanut butter like less than half a day ago today. And
No,
that's
that was like an hour ago.
an hour ago. That's fucking incredible, man. Dude, you come a long
Plus
way, man.
five music bars
Holy shit.
and half a
Yo!
liter of protein milk
Yo!
and six corn thins.
Ah, bro.
So, as a preview, I think tomorrow I will be heavier. This
I
was
have an
after
inkling.
dinner. This is after a good dinner.
Oh shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it was definitely a binge, right? So I'm not out of the
Right,
woods,
right.
but the like I can feel it like slowly losing power over me as I'm
Mm,
able to like escape that frustration cycle.
mm.
Cause that
Oh,
fucking sucked so bad, dude.
yeah, bro. I can't
Um,
imagine.
yeah, like right now, I think it's more just of breaking the literal habit, and I
Yeah.
like the emotional aspect is a lot like pretty much solved,
Mm,
or not solved, but like um insignificant now.
mm,
It's more just breaking the literal habit of feeling so hungry and then just following all the impulses, even past the point of physical hunger.
mm,
Like now, it's simply a pattern of actions that I am used to taking.
mm.
Not nearly the same emotional weight to it.
Bruh, you've come a long, long way. That's,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm proud of you. And I was just thinking, is there anything in my life that I can relate, where I can relate to this? And yeah, I actually think there is something similar, which is my injuries. They cause me, so after I get injured, my body starts to atrophy. And and then when I see my body, I'm in this deficit state. And that
Uh-huh,
makes me
uh-huh.
extremely frustrated because I'm like, fuck, dude, I look like a stick. And then that, as soon as I'm like just good enough to go back into the gym, I go super hard
Yeah, right,
because I want to make up for what I don't have. And I want to gain twice as fast as other people can, right?
right,
And so I just fall into this really bad headspace, and then of course after that I get injured,
right. Because
and
of
then the
course
cycle
that
continues.
rush is what causes injuries.
Exactly. So it's
Fuck.
a huge lack of discipline, and then that the injuries just um, feed into that desire to work out even harder, and so that's the
Mm.
vicious cycle. I've had to break it. I've had to, well, over the past month, just accept that I'm not going to work out my upper body apart from neck rehab stuff, and that's it. So, yeah, it's just, I'm definitely not out of the woods. I'm still in the thick of it. But Um, at least I can work out my legs. So that's the bright side.
And the bright side is that you've gained this awareness
Yep. Yes. That's
because
probably
it's
the most
another
important, the most important
unteachable
thing.
lesson, dude.
Yeah, you're right. We all
We've
want
heard this shit a
shortcuts.
million times.
We all want to gain 10 kilos over the next year of muscle. But
Yeah. And
yeah.
for me, it was literally the exact opposite. So then when I was fat, I would always want to lose like 10 kilos instantly. And then
Right.
I would crash diet. And then I would have put myself in such diet fatigue that I was like actually physiologically like in starvation state. And then my
Fuck.
binge would double in intensity.
Fuck.
And then I'll get fat again. And then I'd rinse and repeat. So that cycle literally happens so many times. Which is it's happening a tiny bit right now where it's like, after I cut down so extremely, like I've gained another like 3 kilos back. So I'm like 88 right now instead of 85. So I gained 3 kilos in like 3 weeks.
You know what's cool though?
Hmm?
You unintentionally doing that, you're basically going through hardcore bulk and cut phases. So you've been able to build up all this muscle this whole time, which is sick.
It's it's kind of true, but um how would I say it? I've never been able to properly bulk because I'm never sustaining any state for long enough.
Mm.
So I would always try to like cut short every single cycle because I want to lose weight faster, but then I would rebound and then I would try to lose weight again. So every time I couldn't stay in a muscle building or fat losing phase for that long.
Yeah.
And all the results really come from over time with moderate intensity,
Mm.
as in like a moderate deficit over a longer period of time loses you the most fat,
Yeah.
and a moderate like surplus over like a longer period of time while training hard gains you the most muscle. But I would always be in like a massive deficit or massive surplus in really short time. And it's just be fucking jumping back and forth. The body doesn't even know what's going on. Like it can't adjust that quick. It's adjusting to trends over time to kind of forcefully adapt.
Mm.
So I was never able to stay in any mode for like months on end, which is why I kind of looked the same for like 2 years until recently, where it's like it's been a bit more gradual.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah. And it's
That's
like
a good point.
technically I reckon I have really good muscle building genetics. I've just been fucking it up the whole time.
Yeah, well, you've done the shittiest type of cut and bulk that anyone could
Yeah.
possibly do.
Yeah. It was still a cut and bulk, but it was like
Yeah.
the least effective
Yeah.
and most like mentally taxing version
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. On the bright side, you are in the 90th percentile for people your height in terms of musculature, muscle mass,
Really?
based on the DEXA.
Oh, oh yeah, true. Fuck. Dude. Honestly, that was so interesting.
We didn't even get to
So I was
talk
talking
about that actually. Yeah.
okay, then let's quickly go over that. That was fucking hilarious. Um, I guess let's give a quick overview. We did a DEXA scan for body fat and muscle mass and bone density. Um, what was this like 2 weeks, a week and a 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Week and a
Two and a
half.
bit, two and a
Yeah.
half.
Okay. Okay. Because I was planning to do one at the start of this year and then another one at the end of this year to measure my progress and get to my body fat goal at the end of the year to be below 13% body fat at the start.
Hmm. Hmm.
And and then I was gonna book it and I was like, okay, fuck, might as well ask all the boys who wants to do this. So I went with you and then two of our my brother and also one of our other friends, Leo. And it was for me, the result was very unexpected because I thought I'd be like just below 20, so maybe 17, 18% body fat. because I was most certainly from the visuals and the weight calculations before, like when I was close to 100 kilos, I was probably like 24, 25% body fat. Um, but then, yeah, actually, yeah, do you want to say your
Yeah.
perspective?
Well, I was expecting the same in terms of your body fat percentage. So around, yeah, maybe just shy of the 20% body fat region. Also feeling my bit, I was expecting to because I was just skin and bones. I still sort of am going into the DEXA scan. So I was expecting around 11, 12%. Um, and I was hoping to be higher than that, uh, so that I know I've got more fat to lose.
Mm.
And yeah, so we all did the DEXA scan. We were all in the same room. Each of us did this scan, which lasted, I don't know, like 5 minutes or so. And then the operator, the guy, he organized all the results, and then he presented it almost like he was reading out our test scores in class.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I was like, damn, where's the confidentiality, man? So he was like, he sent all four of us each of our DEXA scans. So all of us had access to each other's. And then when he got up both of our tests and he put it onto the screen and he read out your Chinese name, 14.7%, was it?
14.6.
14.6. And then he read out my one, 13.7. I was like, "Oh, wait a second. Like he fucked it up. Like am I the 14? Or like did I get a duplicate result or something like that? No, it turns out that you were at 14.6, less than 1% more than me. And that blew my mind. Dude, I have a video of it. I have a video of just my face,
I have a video
recording
of
my
it too.
reaction. Yeah.
As soon as there was a moment in the video where before he said it, I was looking at the results. You could see me trying to read the names and the numbers, and then you suddenly see me go um, like pure confusion, and then my eyes lock on, and then you see me like spin, like snap my head to look at you, and I don't say anything. I'm just like squinting at the screen, confusion, then realization, and then I just quickly look at you like, what the
Sheesh.
fuck?
Yeah.
And then
Oh, that's crazy.
um and then he says it, 14.6, and then we both go, no way.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it was that was
That's
super
funny,
interesting.
man. That's funny.
And I think to add to that, something funny that like I was speaking to my girlfriend about, she would say in her work, when she's at work, like she's a fucking high performer. Like, and, I don't know what she thinks, but she's like a proper high performer. And then at work, whenever she gets praise, she says she often doesn't believe it, and she only
Mm.
believes like the criticisms. And then I start laughing because that's what she told
Classic,
me when
man.
I said, when I got the 14.6% on the DEXA scan, right? The
Yeah.
whole reason we did the DEXA is because it was like the most accurate
Ah,
form
motherfucker.
of the of measuring body fat.
Yeah.
So we spent fucking $160 just to do this because it's the most accurate one, right? Least margin of error.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get the result, my first instinct was, okay, surely that's not right.
You stupid motherfucker.
So
Dude.
yeah, so I started laughing because like that's exactly what both you and my partner said to me, where it's like,
Yeah.
Jack, dude, you literally did this because it's the most accurate. And the first instinct was, oh, good, a very positive result. No, it can't be right.
Oh Oh, that's hilarious.
So yeah, that's my funny story from that, dude.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Made me
I think we
realize.
both tend to do that
Yeah, 100%.
for sure. Yeah, I was talking to Caleb about this, how both of us hate receiving praise and or used to hate receiving praise and used to hate receiving gratitude from other people because we're like, no,
Oh,
we don't deserve it. Like when someone says thank you or someone wants to shout me a meal or something, I would always reject them or
oh,
push
I
away.
remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone praised me, I'll always, it's sort of like someone's giving you a gift and you throw it into the trash. That's what I'll do. So I'll be like, nah, 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 like that's not true. You're wrong, whatever. And um, yeah, like it's, I think you called me out on it, or you made me really aware of this last year. And since then, I've
Mm,
been making a conscious choice to just receive the praise, receive the gratitude, and thank them for it. Um, and and I think that that definitely has had a subconscious effect on me as well. Although I still internally need to fight this inner voice telling me, no, that's probably wrong. Or they're only seeing the good side of you. They're only seeing all of the wins. They don't see everything else, which is kind of
mm.
true to some extent. Um, yeah, but at the same time, we have both experienced objective wins, and we've put in the hard work for certain things. Um, and and yeah, we should celebrate them.
I I do remember. I don't know if it was a recorded conversation or not, but I very much remember this where yeah, I kind of talked to you about like receiving praise gracefully and that
Yeah.
actually being like the best way to live.
Hmm.
And then also giving praise generously, but truthfully.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I never had an aversion to praise. I wonder why though.
Really?
I think I was always like an attention fucking whore, bro.
Well,
Like
don't get me
I
wrong, I am too, but I like receiving attention and then uh
throwing it away.
pretending that I don't
Yeah.
notice.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I wonder why. Like that's something probably we can de delve into a bit more, and we probably both don't know the actual reason. We can just guess.
Mm, mm.
But that's really interesting because I don't think I would have that, or I had that. Yeah.
I wonder why.
We have 3 minutes left, so that's got to be a
Yeah.
story for another day, bro.
Yeah.
Also, I've got no
So
fucking clue.
so what if someone offers to shout you a meal, how do you feel?
Oh, it depends on the context.
It's out of gratitude. So let's say you helped Caleb with his
Hmm.
shoot or something like that, and then he insists on shouting you a meal.
Oh. Oh, okay. Honestly, I would say I wouldn't mind. Like, I would welcome that, but then
Hmm?
I would make sure that whatever I value I deliver him is like fucking valuable.
Right.
Because I've seen it too much in my parents. Like, my dad would be that person who would do so much for everyone else and then reject all possible gifts, raises, promotions, fucking praise, everything. Like,
Damn.
everything. I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? All of your work,
Sheesh.
it would be hilarious
Yeah.
sometimes. It would be frustrating and hilarious. It would be like unthinkable to me. And
Fuck,
then, but
dude.
I wouldn't be able to explain it to him like how to accept or why I think like, maybe he shouldn't be so extreme. Like I love him for it
Mm,
because he's genuinely selfless. Like So I really respect that for him. But
Mm.
it's like a lot of the things that could make his life even more full and let the giver feel really good about themselves for having given it back to him.
Mm.
Like, yeah, so I would tell him, oh, fuck, we've got a minute left. Like, I would literally tell him, like, you know, maybe they actually want to help you too. And maybe will you deny them of the feeling that you just got from helping them?
Mm.
Like, why did you do that? Because you wanted to be selfless and help them and you fucking love it and you love yourself when you do that. But then what if
Yeah.
they want to do the exact same and you just keep denying them? And
Yeah.
then if you do accept this, why don't you just accept this and then make sure whatever you gave them was like fucking valuable? Like you give it your all. If
Yeah.
they offer to give anything in return, even if it's praise or like a dinner, then you make sure you really deliver on everything, over deliver.
Yeah.
And then you both win.
That's
So
super good,
yeah,
man.
I think that's what I think from now.
Fuck. That's a really good mindset. I'll take that.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Less than a minute. Closing thoughts?
Life is good, man. I just need to like get some better sleep, as usual.
Hey, we did pretty good today. It's 9:15,
Yeah,
9:14. All right.
not too bad. I have to wake up at 4:30 tomorrow. Whoa.
Off to bed then, Mr. G.
Okay, GG.
Thank you for the
All right.
conversation, as
No,
always.
thank you. I love you, brother. It's good to have you back.
Love you too, man.